Hi, I've had a lot of questions about creating the modifier button, or as Virpil calls it, the shift setup function in the Virpil software. This is to create a second uh, button press for the same button. Um, so by default, this S1 that will be all blank, similar to these ones. So to create the second shift function, we need to assign a button. I'm using button 30 on my Constellation Alphas. You need to turn this to on. These two boxes relate to the LEDs on the joysticks or control panels. As I said, I'm using Constellation Alpha, so there's only one LED which runs around the top of the joystick for me. In normal function, I have it as blue, and in shift state, I have it as, changes to the maroon here, purple, pink, mauve, whatever you want to call it. And that just helps me to know that I'm pushing the right button. So that's what we do on this one. If you want the button to do three functions, you have to create a second modifier, and you can do that using a different button. So you could use 29 or whatever else, turn that on, and you could have another color. So that's what we do there. Now over here in our buttons, we have to assign, in this shift state, they're normally turned off. So they normally look off. So we need to go and change all our buttons to, say, shift 0. For me, on my Constellation Alphas, there's 30 buttons initially, so all of those have to be set to shift 0, and they all relate to this shift function here. Now, every button thereafter that we create that we want to work under our modifier button has to be into this shift state 1. So I'll use button here, say button 12, or button, I'll call it button 32, which is what it will come up on our software. Right. Oh, which one was 12? So there's button 12 there. We see button 12 here. And we also see we're pushing it here. Even though we're in shift state 0, we see it pushed here, and if we scroll up to button 12 here, right, it'll still show up. Don't worry, that's normal in this. We need to get the joystick tester out. Even here it's saying button 12 on and off. I haven't changed states yet. I'll do that in a second. So if every new button we want created under our second shift state or state 1, we need to change this property to say shift 1. Okay, now I'm going to push my modifier button and button 12, and if you look over here in the testing tool, button 12, I'm going to push my modifier. You see it change under the shift state, and I'll push button 12, and it now says button 32. Right, and that all relates to this shift setup function. Now that's all well and good to work on the one joystick, but how do we get it to work on, in my case, I've got 2 joysticks and 2 control panels, and I can use the one button to create a modifier on all of these devices, and that's using the shift tool. So as the source, I've got my right joystick, which contains this button 30, right? And all my destination devices, my second joystick and my 2 control panels, are in here. So if I switch over to here, my left panel, I'll switch this to my left panel, my left joystick, sorry. And we can see it here. I'll do the same button 6, and I hit my modifier, And we can see in the software, even under the left, right, because we have to set this up in every device, this shift state. That's shift state 1, it's button 30. That's still assigned to my right joystick. And now here it says external, right? So external, under my understanding, will look for this shift tool to be running. And if the shift tool isn't running, it won't do anything. So I'm changing my LED on my left joystick the same way I am on my right joystick. So they both change to this purple colour. And now if I push that and my button 6, the right one. So button 6, modifier, button 42, which is what is set in here. Button 6. So physical button 6, program or logic button number 42. I hope that makes sense. I'll just quickly show you my panels in case you want to do panels. Same thing. So I'm using the external function. I'm still using my logical button 30 on my right alpha, right? Because that's our destination device. Our source device on our shift tool. If you only wanted to use it on the one stick, or have a modifier button on each stick that only correlates to that stick, well, you just turn this to on. You don't need the external and you won't need the shift tool. But I find it handy just to have the one modifier, and it works easier for me that way. I hope this helps a little bit. As I said, always use the joystick tester and pay attention to what's going on in this box. The button presses will show up in there for you. Okay, thanks.